I don't have a religious point of view. I have a
Well,
different.
I'm about to talk about religious point of view because this is my issue with it. I say at the end of the day, and we talked about this earlier, but somewhere between a cult and a church, the 12-step program is somewhere between a cult and a church.
Well, third grade chess club's a cult too.
No,
Yeah, it
but those kids couldn't get together. I guess in theory, those kids could get together based on their background and do something bad collectively. There's a strong chance at any meeting.
A cult has to be bad.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. 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 Cult, no positive connotation. If you're talking by true definition, no, I guess not.
Well, I don't. You know.
Then we could start using the word like society, and we are off on a massive tangent at this point.
Right. I mean, I'm about to throw out all my Blue Oyster Cult albums right now.
Correct.
Bad.
All right. So,
They were pretty bad though at times.
uh, train of thought. Two ADD people talking step two.
Right. Well,
Yeah. Right. I mean, this only
so
makes sense to program people who are sitting there going, "This is the deepest meaning shit I've ever heard on the topic." Oh, no, no, bro. This isn't the deepest
right.
meaning shit is when you actually see a miracle like assholes who are listening to this getting actually sober. There's a
Right.
point from having time where you look at people and they actually get time and they achieve shit and you're like, that's fucking cool. Then there's points when everybody eventually fucks up and disappoints you and you just go, that's fucking life. So that's basically all it is. You're basically saying because now I quote unquote have a higher power that 99% of the people in our cult, I mean my former cult, call God and or Jesus Christ, right? Um, I can learn to just sort of say I'm going to trust everybody until they fuck me, and then sort of say fuck it because that's just the way they are, and still try to be a happy guy because I have this God. How'd I do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had that philosophy before I got sober. I put everybody up on a pedestal until they took themselves off.
Oh, I'm the opposite. I don't trust or like anybody, and I
Well,
haven't even met him yet.
yeah, I'm at that point now.
No, look, this hurts me in business as not to give too much in my day life, but my day life is about networking and making deals,
Right.
and I hate it.
Well,
And I like talking. I just had this discussion the other day with someone, and the conversation went like this. My favorite topic is me. I like talking about me. I like hanging out with me. I like going to shows with me. And I realize that all this me shit that I'm saying for anybody who's listening doesn't leave a lot of room for God. There's no me in God, right? That's the age old, that's probably the name of this episode. There's no me in God. Step two, no me in God.
correct.
Well, I feel like the episodes, I could stop it right there, but because that is such a deeply profound moment in the show, but that's not the way we operate around here. We,
No, no, we have to follow up profound moments with utter silliness.
that's the point. So for those of you listening, let me repeat the would have been
Sorry,
there.
same guy calling me back.
Is he piecing this whole show together as it
Uh-huh.
clicks on and off and does weird stuff? All right. So for those of you who just missed the totally profound moment, step two is there is no me in God. And if you are a narcissist, which would I wild guess people in the program about 80%? Huh?
Some are closet narcissists, but yeah, yeah, 3 out of 4, yeah.
Even the nice little old lady in the back of the room who doesn't look like she could hurt a soul, who got put here by the court. Yeah, she's a narcissist. She put herself above in front of her family. Or you don't wind up in court. You cannot wind up in the program unless you put me first. There's no way. There's no scenario you can tell me right now, Ian, that doesn't land me in an AA room without me being narcissistic.
Hmm.
So is step two ultimately, this is the profound moment, there is no me in God, but ultimately it's relinquishment of being a narcissist. Well, narcissist is a hard word. That's a clinical condition. Me-centric.
Okay.
Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Okay. So I no longer want to be a me person, therefore I have to create something that is greater than me. That's all I have to technically accept.
Correct.
Am I acting like a guy who's done step 2, I don't know, 6 times?
A day.
Well, I don't want to like obsess about it because truthfully, I am not in the program anymore. By terms and standards, no
Right.
matter who you talk to,
But you still 12 steps.
oh yeah, I live it every day. But the first part of the cult is the minute you stop going to meetings, you're no longer a member of the cult. You got to turn in your jacket. Doesn't mean that I don't work the principles and the steps in my life.
California.
You know, I'm just telling you my experience.
Yeah, you should try the. There's this new deal. It's CMA. You should try that. They don't have traditions yet. That's how new they are.
Well, and here's my point. If you look at these very contemporary church settings, right? These Christian-based contemporary, let's go rock out with God kind of thing. Even my friend Brian, who plays in Korn, he's a big Christian guy. Found God, helped him get sober. I'm not outing him. He just wrote a book on this entire topic. And I just saw him a couple of weeks ago. And he's the guy that I remember growing up with. And I really got emotional about the whole thing. It was like real. I said, how's your brother? How's your, I was like checking out family members. And there are multiple family members that he and I are aware of on all our sides that have issues. And it was a real programming kind of like, yeah. And he's got his stuff together. And I like that. When especially people you grow up with or people that are around you, right? That are actually getting their stuff dialed in. In his case, huge God element, huge. And it's that Christian-y new age, everybody is loved by God, don't judge, kind of, really free-spirited.
Yeah. Well, I try not to judge.
Well, most of those.
One part of the program that's a part of the program I don't like. They say stick with the winners. It's like, well, how are you supposed to figure out a winner and a loser if you're not judging, Don't judge, but stick with the winners.
Well, my point to that is most of these new wave-ish churches, right? The Joel, what's his names of the world, they're just basically telling people to operate on a 12-step principle. You don't have to pray every minute of the day. You just got to be a good person and here are the steps.
Right.
Like they've applied it to religion, right? They just made themselves powerless over life and stick the God element in, and they operate on that. I'm intrigued with step 2 the most because of all of these steps, this is the one that is, tell me I'm crazy. I've been across the country. I've seen AA in a lot of states, and AACA specifically. I stopped going to NA after the almost getting beat up, and therefore I made up my mind in my early recovery that all NA is where you go to get tattoos and beat people up.
Well, and score drugs on your way out.
Okay, great.
When I was a musician, I used to always cop at the NA meeting.
CA meetings, the few that exist, all those people with time wind up going to AA meetings.
The 2 biggest meetings in the Valley are CA meetings.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a Monday night meeting, 500 people constantly.
That much blow still flowing around? By the way, I'm just wondering this on cocaine. Have you gotten any, because you're still in touch with the front lines, anybody coming back saying cocaine's gotten any better?
No.
Oh, bummer. No. I know it's out there again. It's making a run. Very popular with the kids these days.
Better than that heroin. But
they're just perfecting that shit.
Right, yeah. Not even
if they can get rid of the whole addicted and the drop on the backside, right? Once they clinically engineer that shit out, everything now all the drugs seem to be how much high energy.
Phenylene or whatever.
Yeah, that whole ephedrine movement. As a guy who drinks Diet Red Bull and takes a lot of workout pills.
I found this new nitro brewed coffee where they nitrogen in it.
By the way, we're relapse. What we're discussing right now constitute as relapse. We are taking something for the desired effect of what it does.
Well, I like the taste too.
Yeah, you like Deep Rose, but you want to know that if it's got that strong a flavor, it's also got the caffeine boost.
No, actually, it's pretty mild tasting because it's all half nitrogen.
Okay.
But no, it's. I had 1 cup. It didn't do a thing. And then in the middle of my second cup, I think the first cup hit me, and that was enough. But
I'm talking to you while I'm drinking on a giant 20 ounces of iced coffee.
nice.
Yeah, no, look, there's no doubt, but we're getting into addiction, and we're off the God topic. I'm going to keep us stray-minded people straight.
Well,
At the 28-minute marker, I'm going to keep on point of this God. Here's my point. People abuse the God thing to the point where I'm over all of it. Like I can't handle this man-made bullshit.
yeah, you got to pick and choose your battle. See, the difference between the program and me and religion, I mean, religion wants you to still feel that shame and guilt, so you give them your money to resolve yourself of it. And the program through, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it helps you get rid of that shame and guilt. And that's what I think keeps us addicts sick. I mean, I shouldn't say us. That's what keeps me sick, is all the shame and guilt for the shit that I did years ago. And, I've been able to let that go because everything I've done in my life, good, bad, or indifferent, has gotten me exactly where I am today, right here, right now, which to me is a pretty good place to be.
No, I don't. Accepting that is one thing.
Right.
I just know that there are people listening to this literally staring into their computer screens listening to us.
I'm back.
Okay. So I'm literally picturing people staring into their computer screens on Facebook or wherever. We doubled our listeners, by the way, last week. So we had a great launch. We doubled last week. Please tell your friends. Go on iTunes. It's on Spreaker, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Or you can just type in blackwhiterecovery.com, and that'll get you right to the show. All right. With that said, there are people. Let's just go with the easy number. We should probably have at least 100 people listen again next week. All right. Talking week 3 of the project. And by the way, that's an astounding number. That's not very many people for your show. Really?
Yeah.
We started off with 0. We had 55. We went to 85. I'm going to say that 100. Go to a meeting and see if you can get 100 people to listen to you.
Yeah, maybe I should start with
Sorry, I don't want to break it to you, but my narcissistic side will point this out. It's 100 people listening to me talk about a topic that I've spent, 22 years on.
Probably a few before.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with this one. So next week it'll be 150 and so on and so on. And by the way, I've had a hand in one of the largest podcasts that's on recovery for a long time, since like 2006. I actually put that one on the radio. And a shout out to my friends over at Recovery 101 and to Bruce and everybody. They do a great show. That's the show you guys want to listen to. They're politically correct and they talk about the steps after coffee.
Yeah.
We're at our coffee shop and it doesn't sound politically correct here.
No.
I'm the guy who makes people go home in tears.
No.
And I've done it.
If Trump was the program, he'd be listening to us.
Oh my God. No. I have literally sent people home in tears based on words that have come out of my mouth while program people are sitting around.
Oh boy.
And add insult to injury, horrible things that I got to apologize for. Because it was just me being, you have this mechanism too. That's why we get along. That vicious pit bull at the bottom of you who finally decides to pop out and let me explain to you how sad your life is kind of voice. I've done that. It's cool. I've been the guy in the group that female sponsors say, don't go near him. I'm him. I'm him. I will own up and fess to me. I have done 6 second steps. And I am here to tell you, 22 years later, I have less of a belief that there is a God. I believe there's order to the universe. Come on, I believe in the power of attraction and karma. And I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in, quote unquote, the secret. I believe in that. I believe that if you put good shit out, good shit will happen to you.
Yes.
I believe that bad guys do get caught up with, but not all the time. Okay, not all the time. You guys don't believe me? A lot of you got away with shit for a long time and you could have stopped. You could have. You could have. You didn't. You didn't. You kept going till you got caught. That's the game. Nothing bad happened to me, therefore I'm going to keep doing it. Then we all imploded at some point in our timeline,